Whew. Okay. Don't you just hate it when you're kind of in the middle of something? And remember, I don't schedule these. I just do them randomly. I do them how I feel. I'm retired. I live off my disability, so it's not like I have a schedule for anything. That's why I make them at pretty much any random time. I don't care about it. The videos becoming monetized. I want them to become popular. I want the channel to grow. I'm going to be open and honest about that. I want the channel to grow, but to kiss the ass of YouTube, Facebook, and all these dumbasses. Oh, by the way, I do have a parlor. It's Masterian at Masterian. Love parlor. Because, you know, it's pretty much all of us that have conservative views, and we can speak our fucking mind and not worry about a bunch of goddamn snowflakes on there and shit. It's, you know, and there are more platforms coming out doing that, getting away from these liberal dumbasses. Because y'all need to understand something. We're the ones with all the money. Seriously. I mean, most of these liberals that I know live at home with their mommies, you know, live off their parents, have no money of their own, maybe working at McDonald's or something, which is not bad. I've worked at McDonald's for many years, so I'm not going to knock that. But this is what I'm talking about. Most of these motherfuckers barely are scratching by. They have no money. So why are professional sports, why are any of these agencies, any of these whatever, kissing the ass of these fucking liberal snowflakes that have no money? We're the ones with all the money. We're the ones that spend all the money. Anyway, let's get into this. Oh, well, let me apologize for my first video, which I had to delete and do this one, take two. Never fails that people, they just, instead of texting you, they want to call you. You know, it's like, why can't you fucking text me? Kind of, it wasn't important per se. It's just fine. It was one of those, I was invited to something and it was like, fuck it, fine, whatever, whatever. So yes, I'll deem it that it was important, whatever. Anyway, what is with America? What is with this? Japan attacked by radical American leftists. I knew this was coming. I knew it. I love they're attacking Canada now. Do y'all not see this? Did y'all not see this coming? Canada talking shit. People in Japan talking shit about the United States. Look at you fuckers and the president that y'all have and all the problems that you fuckers have. And look, and I'm like, y'all do realize they're gonna come for you too, dumbasses. This ain't about politics just here in the United States, you fucktards. These motherfuckers want to take over the Western world. These motherfuckers are nothing but Islamic sleepers. That's all they are. I'm calling it out as I'm literally saying it and seeing it. They are nothing but followers of Allah and everything else. Jesus Christ, TV shows have done episodes about this, about sleeper cells and all that. That's all they're doing. They want to get rid of anything, Canada, America, Europe. They want Japan, anything that has Western values. Funny how they're not going after China. You know why they're not going after China? Because China has concentration camps and rehabilitation camps for Muslims. That's the reason why they're not going after China, because China ain't going to fuck around. China isn't fucking around. China is literally like, no, fuck you. We don't want that shit here. And what the fuck is anybody going to say about it? That's what China's doing. And the hell, I may not support communism or any of that bullshit, but when it comes to that shit, I got to agree with them on this. The Pope himself even said that this Islamic world does not fit with the Western world. It doesn't. It doesn't, period. But whatever. These leftists trying to go after Japan. Okay.
Hello and welcome back to No BS. Today we turn to talking about these
I am curious why he changed his channel where it's, instead of no bullshit is no BS. Something tells me it's because he started getting demonetized. But as I keep saying to Facebook and YouTube and all of y'all, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about your fucking monetization. See, and there are more of us that are like that. There are more of us coming out like that. More of us that are retired, just like me, who live off of our military or retirement or whatever that you can't threaten us. Oh, we're going to threaten you with demonetization. And we're like, fuck you, don't need your money, bitch. So you can kiss my ass.
Demonstrators that are getting rather rambunctious out here in America. And in addition, they're starting to spread to other parts of the world too. You see these demonstrators and these...
Let me point something out for what he just said. They're trying to spread out, which is true. You do realize that Japan is not all lights and candy and anime and all that shit like y'all think. You do realize that Japan is still run by, I hate to say it, but by an organization. May look all pretty and everything else, but if y'all think that the Yakuza don't run Japan, y'all are fucking dumber than dirt. So to try and spread this shit to Japan, y'all are fucking retarded. Let me point out why. Because they've tried to spread to Mexico. It was funny. This didn't. I'm saying this now to let y'all know this happened because it was on local news. You would think that this particular news, for what they keep trying to push, would go worldwide, right? Reason why it didn't, because it's Mexico. A transgender activist was brutally murdered in broad daylight in Chihuahua, Mexico. Brutally murdered. I didn't even know about the Chihuahua one. I didn't even know about it. It wasn't posted everywhere, wasn't shared everywhere and everything. You know why? Again, because Mexico is run by the cartels. Just like Japan is run by the Yakuza. Y'all must be stupid if you think they're not. Mexico is run by the cartels. They're not going to allow all this leftist bullshit and whatever to happen over there. I've been saying that shit for years to people who have been talking about that shit here in El Paso. It's like, oh, y'all really think that y'all are gonna win shit? Try moving up, try going across. I've had this conversation with an ex. Well, she wasn't really an ex. Anyway, where I love Mexico. I love Mexico. I love Mexico. Really? Have you ever been? Have you ever been? Well, no, not really. I said, oh, well, you could come here and me and my Mexican friends, and at the time I was married to a Mexican family, we could take you across the border, leave you there. We'll come back. We'll leave you there. See how much you love Mexico after that. That's if you survive. See how much you love it after that. We'll leave you there. We'll drop you off at sundown because we're coming back, but we'll leave you there. See how much you love Mexico. And me and my friends were like, we'll pay for your ticket to come here. All of this shit. And she turned it down. We were like, whoa, you love Mexico so much. We're paying for the trip for you to come here to go over there. Why are you turning it down? She hung up the phone. This was on a phone call. She hung it up. It's like, yeah, because you know damn well you're full of shit. Whenever they're presented with reality, they always want to cry and run the other way. Or they scream, any of these videos. Whenever you bring up logic and reality to them, the left is la, 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 I don't want to hear anything. Go away, we don't want to talk to you. That's what they all do. Because they know damn well what they're saying is bullshit. Anyway, transgender activist brutally murdered in Chihuahua. In response to that, what was it, like a few days to a week later, this is when I heard about it, because it was on KFOX News. They tried it again. Tried demonstrating, but this time in Juarez, Mexico, one of the most violent cities in the entire world, right across the border, Juarez, Mexico, one of the most violent cities in the entire world. And they tried protesting for the transgender activist that was murdered in Chihuahua. Guess what happened? The one who was leading the charge here, or in Juarez, also brutally murdered. Y'all are getting away with that shit here in the United States and in Europe and everything else because everybody's doing the whole, oh no, turn the other cheek. Oh no, we don't want to respond. And oh, we don't want to, violence begets violence. And look at all the shit that they keep doing. They keep taking more and more and more. You give them an inch, they take 10 miles is what these fucking leftists are doing. But in these other countries, Mexico, China, you think you're going to try that shit in Japan, all these other countries are like, we would kill you here. But again, they just want to talk all that shit when they're, have you noticed that they all talk all this shit? They're violent only when they have the numbers and when they feel that they have the advantage. That is the only time they do. I've dealt with blacks, Black Lives Matter. I've dealt with people like this. They only act the way they act when they feel they have the advantage. Because every single time, even though we were outnumbered, I brought up the story of Titus Town once in my videos. We were outnumbered. There was only 5 of us. There was, 20, 25 of them? And they backed down. One of them knew me, didn't know who the fuck he was, but he knew me, knew my reputation. They knew Frankie, who was my former gang leader, straight up New York Italian, that was working the convenience store there. And they were like, they just backed off. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all outnumber us like 25-5, and you're backing down. I was like, and I said this openly, I'm like, proves how much of a bitch y'all are. Y'all will only do the shit you do when you have the advantage. If it's equal or you're outnumbered, y'all are quiet as fucking mouses. Y'all don't say shit. But the moment y'all have the advantage, or you think you have the advantage, oh my God, y'all run your mouths, you attack people and all that shit. But yeah, y'all really think Japan is going to bow down to you? Japan is old school. They are ancient old school. They're not into this new wave fucking bullshit. And they are very liberal. They have nudity in their cartoons. My friends from Japan that I grew up with were like, they were the ones first showing me, I don't even know if it was called manga back when I was a kid, but they were the ones showing me their comic books, and it had sex, nudity, all of that shit. Their morning cartoons. They were like, because they had just come from Japan, and they were like, our morning cartoons have nudity. What is this bull? What's this crap that y'all play here? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Nudity? Yeah, it's from Japan. And that's what they showed me, their manga, and it was like, man, America sucks. I was like, this is me as a child knowing this shit. Like, wow, Japan is pretty fucking open-minded and liberal and shit. They're not that liberal.
Far-left activists, usually tied to the groups Antifa and BLM, they've also gotten leaks over to Europe and London and other countries are getting involved. Australia has a presence.
I thought this was about the United States. So how is it Antifa and BLM and all that shit spreading worldwide? See, that right there shows how fake these organizations are. Oh, yeah, it's about America and the cops here and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so why am I hearing about BLM in fucking Australia? The fuck? What the fuck does George Floyd have to do with Australia? Yeah, see, this is all a goal of just getting rid of anything Western, period.
In addition, they're starting to look to other countries and point blame and start to sort of attack them. That's what I wanted to bring up today. I found an interesting article from the BBC News. Now, this is a British publication funded by their government, and they push lots of far left stuff like we're talking about today. Specifically, they seem to be supporting BLM, which is this American-based political group. They're admitted Marxists too, so they're basically international Marxists trying to spread this kind of bad communist
to take over the world. That's it. This has got nothing to do with all the lies and bullshit they're posting out here. Our athletes, seriously, LeBron, how are you kneeling, but at the same time kissing the ass of China, who is extremely racist to blacks? We all know that. This is not a secret. We all know this. So how are you kneeling for Black Lives Matter at the same time kissing the ass of China? It's so fucking stupid.
Fueled ideology all over the world. And now we have a British newspaper spreading that. And specifically, they're spreading them, calling a significant country racist. That's right. Today, Japan is coming under attack for its supposed racism. And this isn't the first time I've heard about this. Many people like to call out Japan recently, calling them racist, saying that they're offensive for not having enough immigration and minority influence and stuff like that. They're going after Japan over and over for a couple of years now. I've encountered this multiple times before, and that's why I wanted to finally talk about it today in relation with current events and basically just mount a defense for Japan. Japan is a good, respectable country. Ever since we defeated them in World War II, they've been recovering and doing a lot of good, better things. Their country has become successful. They've produced lots of great technology, video games, companies like Sony, things like that. I mean, definitely not perfect, definitely not the best. There's, I'm sure, issues with them, and they could probably do better with things like we're going to talk about today. Like they might be considered offensive by very soft PC sensibilities, but I'm here to tell you they're really not that bad. They're actually a decent country who gets accused of this stuff just for trying to.
I mean, y'all know they have, what is it, their phallic symbol festival. I mean, where are all the feminists coming out against that? Oh my God, we hate men. How dare they have a festival, a celebration that they've had since ancient times? Good luck with trying to take over Japan. You dumbasses, I wasn't alive for World War II. Yet, I at least know history. And good luck with trying to take over Japan. Because these motherfuckers will kill you. They're pretty open about that shit. They won't hesitate to kill you. So, I'm trying to understand why y'all are going after Japan. You think that's going to work out well for you?
Defend themselves just for trying to, remain autonomous
and remain Japanese. What is wrong with that? I'm really not understanding what's wrong with. I mean, China. Again, it comes right back down to China's doing it, and yet I don't see y'all going after China. China actually is openly, all caps, openly racist, and they have rehabilitation camps, and I don't see any of you, LeBron or any of y'all, Disney, I don't see any of y'all protesting against their atrocities, their racism. I don't see you trying to go after China. No, y'all actually kiss their ass. So, yeah, come on, none of us, woke of us, are stupid. We know that y'all are full of shit. We know this is all lies. We know that all you want to do is just try and take down everything white. We already know. And again, I mean, pointing this out to LeBron and all of y'all, you're black. They're really not going to like you. They're just using you to try and take down America. Y'all know that, right? You really think you're still going to have all that money and all that shit if China took over the world? You really think once China would take over, that they would allow you to still be King LeBron? Y'all really are fucking dumb. Y'all are dumb.
Successful, and they're an island nation doing what they can to survive in this very biased, very unfair world. So we're going to talk about that soon. We're going to talk more about this story and get right into this article. Here's the one in question from the BBC News. It says, Black Lives Matter pushes Japan to confront racism straight up. Then you got a BLM person and a seemingly Japanese woman with them trying to show that they're together. And then this says, Japan traditionally sees itself as a very homogenous society. Yeah, that's the problem. Like I said, it comes from Japan just sort of being for Japan, them being this kind of pro-Japan place that has very minimal immigration. They're more focused on protecting their own people and doing well for their own society. And I think that could be respectful. I mean, I'm not saying that's necessarily the best choice for everyone. America.
I mean, you do got to realize the only reason why blacks are kind of here in the United States really wasn't because of immigration. It was because of slavery. So if slavery had not have happened, we'd all be over there. We'd pretty much all be in Africa. So, I mean, seriously. It's funny how they want black to stay black power, black this, black this, black this, but yet want to go after everybody else and, hey, y'all need to integrate. Whoa. You're literally saying Black Lives Matter. and pointing out we need more black this, more black. Whatever happened to having more Hispanic? I mean, just what, a couple of years ago, just a few years ago, everything was about Latinos. Now all of a sudden it's all black? What happened to Mexican Lives Matter? What happened to Latino lives? What happened? What happened to flying the Mexican flag everywhere? Blacks were flying the Mexican flag even. And I was like, y'all know, I was telling my Mexican friends, y'all know that's bullshit, right? They're just trying to take down everything that's white. Now all of a sudden it's Black Lives Matter. And all the Latinos have been pushed aside. Why? What happened? Y'all better leave these countries alone, because these countries are not the United States. Mexico is not the United States. They're run by the fucking cartels, and they will kill you. As I said, that's exactly what happened to these transgender people over there in Mexico. And I didn't feel sorry for the story. I'll tell you right now, y'all get mad at me all you want. I laughed at the story because I was like, did y'all really think this was going to go over well? Trying to... Oh my God. Y'all really think trying to force the cartel's hand that was going to go over well for you? Oh my God, y'all are fucking dumb.
Has its own immigration issues, and we have a lot more immigration. And I'm not necessarily here to say that's a big problem either. We can have different levels of immigration and have different disagreements, but the point is each country has their own right to make decisions for themselves, and trying to force them to like take more immigrants is super wrong and super lame and just like nosy and bossy too. I don't like to see this, so that's why we're talking about it now. To many Japanese, racism towards black people has long been considered something that happens in the US or Europe, not at home. But when the death of George Floyd in the US sparked a wave of protests demanding that Black Lives Matter, people in Japan joined in too. The protests and marches in major cities pushed a debate about racism in the country.
Oh, here we go with their stupid commercials. My God. Hold on, let me get past this dumb shit.
The country there. And whether enough was being done to confront and change things. In June, public broadcaster NHK aired a segment to Japanese audiences what was happening in the U.S. with the protests over George Floyd's death. The report, in a news show aimed at younger audiences, featured an animated video depicting the protesters as...
Funny how I'm pretty sure they showed the edited video and not the actual truth, not the actual whole video. George Floyd was a fucking criminal. He was high as shit. He didn't die. As a matter of fact, they showed other angles of the cop with his knee and everything, that he wasn't actually on his neck. They've already shown all this. This has already all been debunked. Yet somehow everybody's still trying to push this bullshit. Every one of these incidents that have happened, the truth always seems to come out that they were the ones in the wrong, and yet y'all are protesting. I'm sorry, I always wait for the truth, the entire truth to come out before I bitch about something. If George Floyd had actually been wronged and had actually been killed and everything else, I'd be on y'all's side. I'd be against that officer and everything else. But seeing the entire video and everything that went down, no, he literally should have just stop resisting. Considering you were wrong. You were wrong. You were caught. Just stop resisting. Stop being a little whiny bitch and, pay for your fucking crime.
Test stereotypes, deeply steeped in racist imagery, characters with exaggerated muscles and angry faces, and with looters in the background. The reaction was largely negative. The U.S. Embassy called the segment offensive and insensitive. I'm sorry, we do not accept your lame excuses anymore. You claim ignorance about the blackness, and yet you feel empowered to make offensive racist commentary on black issues without consulting anyone. If you need help, we are here, but this is BS. And I believe this is an image of the riots and the protests, and this is what they call racist now.
But isn't that exactly what these people actually look like? This is not a cartoon, this is a caricature. Meaning, you watch any of these fucking BLM, that's exactly what they look like. So how is it racist to show exactly what they look like? I don't understand that. Taking something from reality and making it into a cartoon, but it's still based in reality, doesn't make it bad. It's still based in reality.
I guess this is a pretty tame to me. It's just a black dude with some muscles. I could see why they could think this is a negative on them a little bit, but it's really just a cartoon version of the protest. It's a bunch of minorities in the streets and they're angry and they're yelling. I mean, that's pretty much what's been happening. I don't see the issue.
Exactly what I said.
The racism here.
So calling out reality, this is what I've said, calling out reality somehow offends y'all. Wow, you leftists really just don't like reality. Why don't y'all just all take some mushrooms or something and just stay high forever? Just stay out of the real world, because bitches, this isn't the Matrix. This is the real world. So why don't y'all just all take some kind of, if y'all don't like the real world, just get out of it then. Bye, get out. Let's see. Yeah, we already know. The truth hurts their feelings, Polar Bear. We already know. Again, if they don't like reality, they could just kill themselves or stay high permanently. Just do something to get out of the real world, because the rest of us, we have no choice but to live here, and we don't mind living here in the world of the real, as Morpheus says. So we have no problem with it. They're the only ones with the problem. So if they don't like the real world, get the fuck out.
See it even being like against them. It's just an animation version, and it's really absurd that this is a story. This is a problem. And it just reminds me, what I see right now is, this actually reminds me a lot of the characterizations they've done of Floyd. Floyd has been animated and drawn on walls, put up on murals and stuff like that. And I thought he looked pretty exaggerated too. I don't think this is exactly him. It's just a random black dude in the cartoon here, but it's really not far off from the actual supposedly respectable animations of Floyd we've already seen. And in addition, let's just keep in mind, this is a bad thing to protest. George Floyd was a terrible criminal who had many arrests, many things on his record. Yep. He was doing horrible things that day when this arrest went wrong. He was on many narcotics, resisting, acting a little crazy, lying, terrorizing the cops.
Why is it that all these criminals, for some reason, are the example of blackness? What the Oh my God, no, I hate to tell you, you fucking criminals and BLM and all that, all you dumbass fucking Negroes out there, you do not represent me. You don't. I'm not a criminal. I'm not some thug. I'm not, no, fuck. What is, it means to, I've heard someone tell me, well, you're not really black. And I'm like, because I'm not ghetto, because I don't speak like, I don't know how to speak English, because I got good grades at school, because I know how to follow the law. How am I less black? Do I need to be ignorant, speak Ebonics, break the law? Is that what's going to make me more black? Well, you could keep that blackness to yourself then.
People around him, he was trying to drive a vehicle intoxicated. You know, he was a bad role model. I don't see why everyone wants to support it. So I could also see why a parody could be justified with something like that. Like, this is right for parody, but the problem is BLM has too big of a stronghold on modern culture and things in the public. That's why the BBC is trying to mount a defense here. And it's why other things have happened recently too. Like, for example, this reminds me of that video game, Tom Clancy Elite Squad had a kind of allusion to BLM. They had this terrorist group within their game that used a similar symbol. And since that struck too close to home, people were outraged by it and they forced the company to remove it. And I think that's, a similar kind of thing that's going on here. Anything that slightly might make BLM look negative, they're getting attacked and called racist and offensive, but it's really not there. I mean, there's nothing racist about that cartoon. It was just containing black people. There was nothing racist or offensive about that elite squad allusion to possibly allude to BLM with that symbol. I think that video game actually was spot on, and they just described BLM too accurately, and that's why people got triggered. And I think that's why they're getting triggered in this story too. One particularly vocal critic was Bay McNeil, an African-American teacher, author, columnist, and longtime Japan resident. He tweeted that it was an offensive racist commentary, and it was time for Japan to stop lame excuses on handling of black issues. NHK later apologized, and following the widespread attention Mr. McNeil articles received, invited him to discuss the problem. He soon found himself giving a talk to the entire NHK staff which he said was an extremely interesting experience. There were a lot of great questions that showed that a lot of people did not know there were problems with blackface or whitewashing. It was really important that someone came in and was.
Oh my God, with the commercials.
It's hard to keep up with the ever-evolving cyber threats on our own.
That's where Norton 360.
Screw your commercials.
And was able to explain it. So this sounds really cringe to me, like some black person going around Japan telling people how to act, telling them how to supposedly, not be racist, and then talking about black.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand that. How is it that somebody you don't know, we're talking like just white people sitting at a table eating, white people just walking down the street, minding their own business, and you're racist? How the hell do you just, because you're white, you're automatically racist? Well, it's funny because then when you got blacks like me, well, you're a racist. See, I'm sorry. I'm going to come straight out and go, yeah, actually I am. I am racist. I am racist to people who want to push Black Lives Matter. I am a racist to people who want to push black issues. There's nothing in the world that says, as far as the United States goes, or at least in the Western world, that says you're not equal to anyone else. There's nothing. Nothing. Just the bullshit y'all are making up, and for some reason people are pushing that crap. We're all equal. Actually, I keep pointing out in my videos, we're not all equal. No, we're not. We're not all equal because I'm bigger and stronger than most other people around me, even at the age of 50. So some person that's going to be 5 foot nothing, 100 pounds something nothing is going to be equal to me, male or female, or whatever fucking gender you choose. No. So we're not all equal. Whatever. But this is not going to go over well in Japan. It's not going to go over well at all.
Whitewashing, blackface. It has nothing to do with that. This is just an animation that features black people. This is not offensive. This is not blackface. This is not this kind of crazy leap in logic that they're taking. They're going too far, and it's really kind of infecting Japan, who didn't deserve it. They don't even have a significant population of these people here. And then they see one or two, and they're kind of like, I think they're scared, honestly. It seems like a lot of people would be scared. And that's a very, very natural reaction to this terrorism that BLM has caused across our country. America is up in flames. The major cities run by Democrats, of course. These Biden supporters that are part of BLM, they're destroying the cities, and they're saying, hey, if you even try to arrest a black criminal, you're going to get your city burned down. Like, you can't even arrest a criminal if they're black. It's that ridiculous right now.
Which is what I said. Why are they glorifying criminals? What the hell is this? But y'all have gotten away with this for far too long, but there are more videos coming out, especially since Sturgis. More videos coming out of us going, no, we're done. We're sick of you. I haven't had to deal with it yet, and as y'all see in my videos, I'm always armed. Let any of these motherfuckers ever stand in my way, I will run you over. I won't hesitate. This is the United States. This is Texas. You're standing in the road, impeding my path. I don't know. I'm not going to get out of my car and try to have a debate with you. Hey, are you blocking me so you can destroy my car or attack me? That's not my responsibility to do that. You're standing in my way. I'm going to automatically consider you a threat, and I'm going to run you over. Period. That's not a threat. That's just a promise. Stay out of the road. You can protest all you want. It's illegal for you to be blocking the road. It's illegal. So why do y'all keep doing it? And then you're shocked when people run you over.
And that's how you scare people. That's called terrorism. When you use violence and fear to get your political motives accomplished, that's terrorism. And that's what's happening now in Japan. That's what's happened in America. These riots in America have scared other countries. So the Japanese are like, all right, we better listen to this black person or they're going to burn our city down. And I think that's a really, really bad and scary place to be, especially in a modern, learned, advanced society.
Yeah, we are not set back. And y'all want to go back to the Old West? Y'all want to go back to medieval times where y'all want to, not be cultivated and civilized people? You want to terrorize people or you burn down their city like we're back in ancient times and everything? Oh, we will definitely honor that. Trust me, all my friends, that all of us are weapons experts, especially in the, well, actually I can't say especially, guns, swords, blades. All of us do archery. All of us do. It's like, you want to push the world back to that time? I'm a member of Amp Guard, which we do, it's padded weapons, but all of us are real fighters. Don't get it twisted. We're all real fighters. SCA, it's like, y'all, and then all of us are also hunters, shooters. You really want to push the world back to old school days of the Old West or feudal Japan, that kind of, we will definitely honor that shit. We will more than gladly want to honor you on that. Trust me, you won't win.
Alrighty, like what we live in. Mr. McNeil has both praise and criticism for the country he has lived in for 16 years. He says that in his immediate surrounding of friends and students, people have been very welcoming and open, and often curious and receptive to learn about his outside view on the Japanese experience. At the same time, he points to a level of everyday, casual racism he experiences. I'm safer here than in the U.S., no question, he says. I haven't experienced police brutality like you would in the U.S., but yet there are paper cuts of...
How about that? How about you don't commit any crimes? Yeah, how about that? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Japanese aren't, you probably don't dress nor look. I want to know who this Mr. McNeil is, what he looks like. Because if he is not running around and dressed and looking like a goddamn thug, obviously they're not going to profile his ass. So to make that kind of a comment about the I feel safer here than the United States. Dude, if you dress like a thug in a hood around me, I'm going to be wondering, what the fuck are you going to do? Even I'm going to wonder that. Is that racism? No, that's called smart thinking. Wow, this dude is acting, looking, and just presenting himself like a complete gangbanger and a thug. I'm going to keep my eye on this person. It's not racism, that's just smart thinking.
Racism every day, and those also add up. Being otherized on a daily basis means you still live through some tough stuff. And then there's a picture of this Japanese beauty queen, because I guess she was not Japanese enough for some people. There's like a whole controversy about that. She's obviously mixed or something. That's a whole other story. But let's talk about this McNeil guy. First of all, casual racism, like paper cuts of tiny little microaggressions, as they sometimes call them. This is nothing. This is like a nothing burger. Like, if that stuff is important to you, if you're getting hurt by these little casual racisms, you might as well say like the lowest level of racism. Anything can become racist at this point.
And that's something I just posted on one of my Facebook page. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. This is what these people consider. I keep pointing this out in my videos. I've lived through real racism. The Klan, burning the cross, all of that shit. I've lived, other than being fully fucking killed, lynched, and hung, I have lived real racism. What these idiots, as he's pointing out, even a microaggression. What the fuck is that? What happened to the time that we all grew up in? Sticks and stones. Whatever happened to that time? No. Now anything is a microaggression now and is offensive. What the fuck is this shit? You people have become so weak. The wind blows a particular way and y'all are like, oh my God, climate change. No, you do realize the earth is a living entity. It moves, it shifts, it does all of that shit. So a volcano goes off, it ain't got nothing to do with climate change. Like, we've had at least, as far as we know, at least 3 ice ages. Was there industrial complexes going on and fossil fuel use going on to start the ice ages? But seriously, y'all are just what is this microaggression? Again, if you can't live in the real world, just get out. Get out. Go somewhere else. While the rest of us continue to live in Zion, the rest of us that continue to live in the real world, y'all jack yourselves, take mushrooms or whatever, jack yourselves back into the matrix and just get the fuck out of our way. Because those of us who can live in the good and the bad of the real world, we're fine. We have no problem with it. It's all you weak little bitches that are the fucking problem. And let me tell you, you're the minority. So get out of the goddamn way. Period. We're done with you.